Detective James, a seeker of truth, found his sanctuary violated by a chilling act of violence. James, with his keen intellect and sharp wit, had always sought solace in the quiet corners of libraries. The scent of old books, the hushed whispers of readers, and the promise of hidden knowledge all appealed to his inquisitive nature. They were his refuge from the clamor of the world outside. But on one fateful evening, his sanctuary was tainted by a horrifying incident. The city library, a place of knowledge and tranquility, became a crime scene. The body of Professor Alexander Green, a respected scholar, was found in the history section. The professor's life had been brutally extinguished, a dagger plunged deep into his chest. James arrived at the scene, the rain from the storm outside mirroring the grim nature of his task. The library, usually a beacon of calm, was now a hub of activity. Police officers cordoned off the area, flashing lights painting eerie shadows on the book-lined walls. Forensic teams moved around, their gloved hands delicately collecting evidence. As James approached the body, he noted the precision of the stab wound. It was a clean, targeted strike, indicating a killer with a clear motive and intent. The professor's relaxed posture suggested there had been no struggle, no desperate fight for life. The detective set to work, his analytical mind dissecting every detail. He began questioning the library staff and patrons, piecing together the narrative of the evening. Each person held a piece of the puzzle, a fragment of the story that led up to the murder. As James delved into the case, he discovered that Professor Green had been researching a controversial theory about the library's origins. Could his pursuit of knowledge have triggered his untimely demise? A grim possibility loomed over James. Was there a deadly secret hidden within the library's hallowed halls? Among the hushed whispers of the library, a deadly secret awaited James's discovery. A mystery that threatened to shatter the silence of his sanctuary. A secret so dangerous that someone was willing to commit murder to keep it hidden. Every page turned in the investigation revealed a new layer of deception. So it was that Detective James found himself knee-deep in the murky waters of Professor Green's research. The professor had been exploring a controversial theory about the library's origins. An ancient tale whispered in hushed tones suggested that the library, this repository of knowledge, held secrets that could rewrite history. Ancient manuscripts lost to time were said to be hidden within its walls. Could this quest for hidden knowledge have led to the professor's untimely demise? A curious cast of characters emerged as potential suspects, each with their own motives and connections to the victim. First, there was the ambitious assistant librarian who resented the professor's fame. Her eyes had a glint of envy, and her alibi seemed a little too well rehearsed. Then there was the eccentric collector, a man whose obsession with the alleged manuscripts bordered on the fanatic. His covetous gaze betrayed his greed, and his proximity to the murder scene made him a suspect. But it was the enigmatic janitor who intrigued James the most. An unassuming figure, he seemed to know more than he let on. His cryptic hints and knowing smiles suggested a deeper involvement in the library's secrets. His connection to Professor Green, however, remained elusive. As James peeled back the layers of deception, he found himself entangled in a web of lies that stretched back decades. The library, it seemed, was not just a sanctuary for knowledge, but a battleground for hidden rivalries and personal vendettas. Everyone had something to hide, and the truth was buried deep within this labyrinth of deception. In the labyrinth of hidden rivalries and personal vendettas, the path to the truth seemed convoluted. But James was undeterred. The maze of deception only sharpened his resolve to bring the killer to justice. The clock was ticking, and with every passing second, the killer was one step closer to escaping. James knew he had to act fast. Time was of the essence as James delved into the heart of the mystery. He sifted through layers of half-truths and deceit, letting his detective instincts guide him. Each person he interviewed was a puzzle piece, each statement a thread that could lead to the killer. James was meticulous, leaving no stone unturned, no secret untapped. The library had always been a sanctuary for James, a place of quiet contemplation, but now it was a crime scene tainted by the specter of murder. Yet it was not just the murder that disturbed him. It was the realization that the library, his sanctuary, was not what it seemed. Professor Green's research had pointed to hidden manuscripts within the library walls, ancient texts that could rewrite history. As James delved deeper, he began to understand why someone might kill for such a treasure. The implications were staggering, the power they could confer, immense. The library was not just a repository of knowledge, but a vault of secrets that could shake the very foundations of their world. The list of suspects was growing. The ambitious assistant librarian with a chip on her shoulder, the eccentric collector with a greed for the unknown, and the enigmatic janitor who seemed to be everywhere at once. Each had their motives, each had their secrets, and James was determined to uncover them all. As James probed deeper, the library's secrets began to unravel. Rivalries and vendettas came to light. Old grudges resurfaced. The quiet hum of the library was replaced by the whispers of deceit, the rustle of hidden agendas. The more James discovered, the murkier the case became. But one thing was clear. The library was not just a sanctuary for knowledge seekers, it was a battleground, a place where ambition and obsession clashed, where the thirst for power could drive someone to murder. The library's secrets were far more dangerous than anyone had ever imagined. The quiet hush of the library was gone, replaced by the echo of a dark past and a deadly present. James was now not just fighting for justice, but for the truth hidden within these hallowed halls. Just as the puzzle pieces seemed to fit, the picture they formed was turned on its head. James had been working tirelessly, piecing together testimonies, alibis, and clues, but the truth was far from what he had anticipated. His eyes, wearied from hours of relentless investigation, widened in disbelief as he realized the true identity of the killer. The meticulous murderer was not the ambitious assistant, nor the eccentric collector, or even the enigmatic janitor. It was the quiet, unassuming librarian who had been hiding in plain sight all along. Her name was Miss Beatrice, a woman of middle age with spectacles perched on the tip of her nose and a fondness for mystery novels. She was the last person anyone would suspect of such a heinous crime, yet the evidence was irrefutable. Beatrice had been the gatekeeper of the library's secrets, the guardian of the ancient manuscripts that Professor Green had been so eager to unveil. She had been working at the library for over 30 years, knowing every nook and cranny, every hidden passage, every secret the library held. The library was her life, her sanctuary, and she was ready to kill to protect its secrets. James found a series of coded letters between Beatrice and an unknown correspondent. They spoke of a conspiracy to protect the library's hidden treasures. When Professor Green's research threatened to expose them, Beatrice took matters into her own hands. The dagger that ended Professor Green's life was a relic from the library's collection, a symbol of her fierce devotion. The realization sent a chill down James's spine. The quiet of the library, once a place of solace, now echoed with the whispers of treachery and deceit. The scent of old books was tainted with the stench of murder. His sanctuary was now a crime scene. The real murderer was hiding in plain sight, a fact that sent a shiver down James's spine. Unveiling the truth was a daunting task, but for Detective James, it was a challenge he was willing to meet head-on. In a dramatic showdown, James stood face to face with the unlikely murderer. The quiet, unassuming librarian, a woman who had always been there, always in the background, never drawing attention to herself. The realization was as shocking as it was unexpected. The librarian, whose life was bound by the rules of the library, had broken the most fundamental law of all. Her confession flowed like a tragic tale from one of the countless books that lined the library's walls. She admitted to the murder, her voice steady, her eyes devoid of remorse. Professor Green had been close to revealing the library's secrets. Secrets she had sworn to protect at any cost. The dagger, a relic from the library's ancient past, had been her weapon of choice. The library's secret was as intriguing as it was dangerous. Hidden within its walls were ancient manuscripts that held the power to rewrite history. To some, they were priceless. To others, they were a threat. The librarian had been the guardian of these secrets, a role passed down to her from generations of librarians before her. Professor Green's relentless pursuit of the truth had forced her hand. She claimed that she did what she had to do, to protect the secrets, to maintain the balance. The professor had been a casualty in a war that had been silently waged within the library's walls for centuries, a war between knowledge and power, between truth and deception. The confession sent a chill down James's spine. He had walked into a murder investigation and had stumbled upon a conspiracy that ran deeper than he could have ever imagined. The librarian was arrested. The secrets of the library were safe for now. As dawn broke, Detective James emerged from the library, another mystery solved, another killer brought to justice. The city library, once his sanctuary, was now a crime scene, a battleground of hidden agendas and deadly secrets. But such is the life of a detective, forever in pursuit of the truth, no matter how unsettling it might be.